Hello and welcome to the late fall Caddy Cruise 2021 gathering. My name is Rebecca Kaufman, and I'm so happy to share with you again a little bit of the intersection of Caddy Cruise and Steiff, because both are German companies with a long history of celebrating and loving all things Christmas. So this presentation is going to give you a brief overview of how Christmas is celebrated in Germany, as well as how the Steiff company used their products throughout time for advertising and creating new products to celebrate this wonderful holiday. So with that being said, let's get started. Indeed, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Let me give you a little background about Christmas, at least how it's celebrated in Germany. So the holidays truly are twice as nice in Germany. There are two holiday days that are celebrated. The first is called St. Nicholas Day. It's celebrated on December 6th. Good children receive small gifts and coins, while bad ones get a stick, which is bad unless you're a dog, of course. So St. Nicholas is often portrayed as a bearded bishop riding a horse, and he may be accompanied by Krampus, who is devil-like in appearance and punishes bad children. What a wonderful name as well. It sounds perfectly descriptive of what he is and what he does. Christmas is celebrated on December 25th and December 26th. Traditionally, the angel-like Christkindl delivers gifts which are opened on Christmas Eve. Over time, the Western version of Santa Claus is replacing the Christkindl as the one who delivers the gifts. Santa steals the Christmas spotlight, and this is particularly true in the United States, where Santa has been an important part of the Christmas tradition and celebration since the late 1880s. Santa, as we know him, is the brainchild of German-American illustrator and cartoonist Thomas Nash. His Santa Claus, illustrating the Night Before Christmas poem, first appeared in an 1863 edition of Harper's Weekly. And Santa is based on several traditions, including the historical figures of St. Nicholas, Father Christmas, Sinterklaas, and Odin from different countries across Europe. Let's talk a little bit about Steiff's holiday winter legacy. Now, it's very interesting to note that although Steiff's products have been featured in advertising for both Steiff, the Steiff company, and in Steiff illustrations, and in other pieces of cards and ephemera since the turn of last century, Steiff actually didn't start creating dedicated Christmas line items until the post-war period. This is the first indication of anything Christmassy I could find in terms of Steiff ephemera. And this is a print ad from December 21st, 1911. And notice that this doesn't scream Christmas, but there are a lot of elements about it that are Christmassy, including the Christmas little tree that you see on the table with the lights on it. And here in the corner, I believe, is St. Nicholas herding some sheep and such. And the caption on this print ad read, "Not to be missed on your Christmas table, the world famous animals and dolls with button ear from the toy factory of Margarete Steiff in Germany." So I believe that is our first Christmas sighting at Steiff. And the little item that you saw in the corner there, I believe, is the St. Nicholas coffee cozy. And here you can see he was in the line from 1908 through 1913, and he was made out of a very durable and insulating material, and his insides were hollow when you would put your coffee pot or hot chocolate pot underneath him, and he would keep it warm for you. And he was insulated with layers of felt to help keep the heat in. This is another print ad from a very early time, and notice there is nothing Christmassy specific about it except this wonderful deer with the antlers with the traditional Christmas candles lit upon them, which is both scary and wonderful at the same time. Very beautiful image, nothing specifically Christmas, but clearly indicating that these items would be perfect accessories for your Christmas decorations or as Christmas presents. Another print ad, this one from 1913. Nothing, again, Christmassy specific, yet you see this tree and these wonderful items hanging from them. They're called pram toys, and those would be items that you would put in a stroller for your child to play with as you rolled them along. But wonderful, happy vignette. I'll take one of each, please, as I'm sure you would as well. And I particularly love this picture also from 1913. It's undated, but we think it's about 1913 based on the content of what you see here. But wonderful colored vignette of folks obviously having fun around a Christmas tree with, again, those lighted candles. A little bit scary to me, but very festive nonetheless. And you can see a better interpretation of those pram toys, which are hanging with pom-poms. You can also see little bears hanging from the branches. If you look on the upper top, a balloon ornament, and of course the man on the moon in the upper right. That's the Humpty Dumpty Steiff version. But anyway, very happy, very Christmassy. Yes, not really Christmassy specific. This is a wonderful print ad from the 1920s. And what I love about it is that it's Christmassy without being Christmassy. It's basically the interpretation, happy laughter of blessed children enriched by beautiful toys is your greatest Christmas treasure. So clearly Steiff is thinking about people purchasing their toys specifically for Christmas and enjoying them under the tree and year round as a result, but not really having anything specific manufactured for Christmas. I love these two cards, which are both, I believe, a New Year's card and certainly a Christmassy related card. They feature Steiff items from the turn of last century, about 1910. The girl on the left with a brown, wonderful Steiff teddy. The girl on the right with a Steiff doll. So clearly people are celebrating with Steiff in the most happy way. And these are those two items that you saw called out in those postcards. This wonderful teddy bear, the wonderful brown mohair with a darling face and expression. And his timeline aligns perfectly with the card. And here is the policeman that you saw the little girl holding. And you can identify it in part by its hands. You see they're very simple and mitt-like. And that puts this doll at the very early production era of its timeline. So Steiff items celebrating Christmas. Well, meanwhile, in America, here's the cover of the Saturday Evening Post for Christmas. And clearly a very pure boy, turn of the century boy with his wonderful little outfit and haircut. He's holding a teddy bear, clearly with Steiff proportions, with those hands that are upturned and the long, thin legs and the wonderful fuzzy muzzle and such. But clearly, teddy bears and Steiff celebrating Christmas in America at the turn of last century. Now let's deck the halls with Steiff. And what we mean by that is how are people celebrating with Steiff through pictures and other wonderful ephemera. And I have a collection of these great pictures from the turn of last century with people really enjoying Steiff products or very similar type of high quality German products under or around their Christmas trees. I love this picture here on the left of the three sisters, clearly taken after a few glasses of eggnog. They are enjoying their wonderful Steiff treasures, a wonderful turn of last century mohair treasures. I believe the woman in the middle is holding a teddy bear, and because made by Steiff, and because of that teddy bear's proportions with the very long legs, very long arms, and arms presented low on the shoulders, very well could be a tumbler, which would align perfectly to the turn of last century. And here you can see the photo on the right, teddy bears and dolls and other animals around the Christmas tree, very festive, very early picture. I love this picture here on the left. It says Merry Christmas. And if you look closely, the little girl is holding a teddy bear in her arms. I think the two of them reading the book look like an old married couple. Same with the picture here on the right. There's these two sitting. This little girl is very lucky with this giant brown bear in front of her. I'm not 100% sure it was made by Steiff, but it is certainly has Steiff-like qualities in some regards, but a darling picture nonetheless with people celebrating with teddy bears the wonderful, most wonderful time of the year. I love this picture here on the left. I'm not sure what's going on. A man is looking seductively at a woman or a teddy bear. I'm not sure which one, in a little alley with snow. I'm not sure what's going on. Clearly it's winter. Clearly it involves Steiff and bears. So wonderful mystery of time. And here on the right, you see a butcher shop and a teddy bear is holding court above the holiday decorations. So a very important part of the seasonality of this store at the turn of the last century, celebrating Christmas with a little Steiff thrown in the mix. More wonderful pictures here on the left. Must be a rather affluent family. You can see four large brown Steiff bears and a little blonde one in the corner. A wonderful picture, and another wonderful picture of a little girl hugging and kissing a large brown Steiff bear. I wish that was me. So finally, Santa is in the Steiff house. And when did this start? This started in basically the mid-century when Steiff created products exclusively for Christmas and such. But They did have a little hint of Christmas in 1923. Here you can see a standing Santa Claus on a rocker. And here he is. You can see this is not a color picture, but he was very colorfully painted. He was 20 centimeters, and he was in the line in the early to mid 1920s. He was described as a wobbly figure. He cost 2.5 marks and was made of the best wood, finely crafted and colorfully painted with luminous colors, which is delightful. It's interesting to note that he was made from wood, and you can see in the early to mid 1920s, Steiff did a lot of products made out of wood because they were still recovering from World War I and the mohair and fine fabric shortages of the time. But this is what he looked like, and a wonderful hint of things to come. Here we are in the mid-century with Steiff's Santa dolls. Now, these were produced as a regular part of the line and were available year-round. So here you see the first Santa on the left. He was available in 13, 18, and 31 centimeters from the 1950s through early 1960s. The smaller one was made of rubber, and the larger ones were made out of felt, and they had rubber faces and mohair beards and red felt outfits with trimmed in mohair. And like most popular products that Steiff has produced in the past, a wonderful item was also recreated or reimagined as a doll. And here you can see the hand Santa at 21 centimeters, created from 1954 to 1958, and then again in 1961. And fast forward to the 70s, you can see that Santa has been reinterpreted again in more 1970s theme. These materials are Draylon artificial materials and sort of a 1970s vibe to him. He also has produced in a more efficient and economical way, which is something that you see over time with Steiff and other manufacturers that tend to simplify patterns over time for efficiencies in production and costs and manufacturing. Wonderful item. This is a studio or life-size Santa created in 150 centimeters from the mid-1960s. This literally is the size of a small person with a rubber face and a full body made of mohair and fabric. What tends to happen with this, very unfortunately, is the rubber on the face tends to melt and fall apart. So these are very uncommon, and even more uncommon with the face still intact, but a delightful image nonetheless of a real life Santa Claus bringing joy to people at Christmas. And in the 1960s, Steiff created a series of zoo postcards with their most popular patterns. These were a collector's edition. And of course, Santa made the cut and is one of those 20 cards. And here he is on the roof of a little house with Rennie's the reindeer. He's often pictured with these delightful field and forest friends. Fast forward a quarter century, in the mid to late 1980s, Steiff started to create a series of Christmas-related items for the US market, which is really, really interesting. So here you see a replica Santa Claus made for the US market. This is the Santa that was very popular in the 50s and 60s, recreated in the 80s. And then Steiff started to create a series of Santa Claus and St. Nicholas themed items based on standard line products, including the Margaret Strong bears, which were very popular in the 80s and the 90s. And here you can see two editions. And then in the early 1990s, Steiff started creating a series of Christmas tree ornaments for the US. And here you see a few of them from the early to mid 1990s. And these proved so popular and so beloved, was kind of a surprise, I believe, to Steiff, that they started to create a series of worldwide ornaments. So interestingly, this market emerged from the US and grew outward instead of going from Germany and growing outward, which is usually the case with Steiff, but that's what happened here. And here are a series of ornaments created for the worldwide market. And often they were sort of a theme and variation on those created for the US market, but adorable nonetheless and beloved by collectors. Some people just put these on their trees. Really sweet, really cute. And here I pulled together a few more modern Steiff editions. Steiff does come out every year with a special Christmas catalog and special Christmas editions. And usually these are really over the top, beautifully manufactured, beautifully designed, so colorful and so seasonal, and really designed to be part of a family's legacy Christmas celebration for generations to come. And that's the quality in which they are rendered. So here is Mr. Claus and Mrs. Claus from a couple of years ago, really beautiful, very adorable. I totally love this piece. It's a nativity scene and a candle arch, just gorgeously rendered, and it's got the best of all worlds with Steiff, the beautiful animals, the beautiful bears, and of course woodwork, which is again something that Steiff does so well. The only downside for this piece, of course, is I would dread if any of the wax hit the mohair or the bears, but those little cups underneath them, the candles, hopefully avoid that. But just how lovely would that be on your Christmas table? I love this piece. This is Santa's Christmas Express with teeny tiny little reindeer and Santa on a sled. Beautiful, wonderful centerpiece. Come out annually. And Steiff's done a number of nativity sets. I particularly like this one. This came out over a series of 3 years. And the little teeny tiny white Jesus, baby teddy Jesus in the creche is one of the smallest Steiff bears you can imagine. It's about the size of an inch or two. It's just tiny and absolutely precious, but a beautiful, beautiful vignette here by Steiff. And something from my personal collection, this plush Christmas tree. It's an open edition from 2004, yet I've only seen or handled maybe 3 or 4 in my entire lifetime. This is literally made out of plush in the form of a Christmas tree. And this forms my centerpiece. I decorate this with teeny tiny ornaments and just love it. It's so much fun and so unexpected to see a tree interpreted this way. So making a scene in public. So Steiff obviously has been a wonderful way for stores and families to celebrate Christmas, bring their decorations to a whole new level. Let's see how some people do that. Obviously, in a retail setting, these are some department stores in Germany simply loving Steiff and highlighting their production. They've dressed a life-size or studio bear as Santa Claus here. In the other case here on the right, a tree decorated in holiday ornaments. Animated windows displays are a really wonderful and marvelous part of the Steiff tradition. And these can range in size from literally a foot square to a city block long. And this, you will see multiple items and animals truly interacting in a lifelike way, often very much themed to Christmas. It's true, nobody celebrates Christmas better than collectors. Let's take a look at how some people decorate their homes with beautiful items from Steiff. This was my holiday card a couple of years ago, and this is Steiff's Noah's Ark, which was a wonderful window display, and I've put 2 of everything and Christmas lights, and of course, Santa is holding court in the upper left. Some other friends use wonderful vintage pieces to set up their own vignettes on their mantles and on their bookshelves. Here you can see Santa and some very old dogs on the left and a very old bird with some brush trees. On the right, you can see some ski bunnies and some fawns and Rennie reindeer celebrating the holidays. Wonderful exhibit here on the left, an old policeman or military doll with an old monkey and a camel on wheels. They're decorating the tree. How fun is that? On the right, you can see a snowman puppet and a rabbit celebrating with a little beaver and a little teddy baby and bird with more little bottle trees. How adorable, delightful is that? Here you can see a giant life-size giraffe. There is Santa hat celebrating at this home. And here on the right, Jocko, the giant monkey, in his hat celebrating the holidays outside. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in these homes for sure. Joy to the World, the wonderful vignettes, Jocko and the snowman, all hiding in a chest of toys for Christmas. And here on the right, a little a little gnome named Puck and a teddy baby lighting candles on the Christmas tree, but not really. Here on the left, wonderful teddy bears enjoying the glow of holiday lights. On the right, a Christmas celebration with old Steiff dogs, both pre and post-war, featured here. A mantle display of everybody dressed for Christmas, wrapped up as a reindeers and Santas and in a present and such. It's not just darling. I think that's the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Of course, arm ornaments, these wonderful bears, of course, look wonderful with Christmas tree ornaments and other holiday colorful things. One of my most dearest teddy bears is on the right. That's my wonderful Maxwell holding a green, red, and white Christmas tree ornament. Winter Wonderland, more delightful eye candy featuring Steiff's pre and post-war production, dressed for the Christmas celebration and in wonderful holiday colors. Merry Christmas with teddy bears and Jockos hanging from stockings, and all sorts of friends hiding in the garland. And of course, tree toppers. People love to decorate their tree with Steiff animals as well as the dedicated ornaments. Fun and festive. And just in case you were wondering, I've been very good this year, or basically good, and this is what I'd like. This tops my holiday wish list. I'd like to give a shout out to these wonderful folks who shared their Christmas pictures with me and how they celebrate the holidays, as well as some references that helped bring this story to life. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I hope this presentation has put you in the mood for wonderful ways to decorate your home and to celebrate with Steiff, along with your Caddy Cruise collection. They certainly go hand in hand, as you can see, with the same delightful German origins, manufacturing, and standards of quality. Anyway, thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and bye for now.